It looks like CES is in fact happening right now, and the huge topic of conversation is, of course, artificial intelligence. Everybody from Nvidia, AMD, and every other major player in the consumer space of electronics is there right now at that show, showcasing off what they're going to be doing with AI in the future. And honestly, it's horrifying, terrifying, if you will. Literally just go ahead and get some latex skin, slap it on one of these bad boys, and replace everybody that you possibly know. The thing is, though, it's not just about AI in the actual space right now. What we're going to be talking about today is how one particular player has been very silent about their use of AI, but they are in fact making moves to do so. And it looks like Microsoft and even PlayStation are going to be going head to head and how they're going to be implementing AI in their next generation consoles, maybe even the ones they have right now, because it looks like next gen, because even so, it looks like next gen may be in fact a few more years away than you'd like it to actually be. Now, what am I talking about? Well, it turns out that a couple of days ago, we covered it here on this channel in this video here. We talked about how Satya Nadella of Microsoft was telling people to stop calling AI slop because they really want to make sure that they implement everything they possibly can with AI and Copilot and place it into basically every single piece of technology they possibly can. This inevitable AI arms race is going to be a huge factor for every single company. The thing is, though, the next Xbox is rumored to in fact be a Windows-based device, which means it will have all the trappings that Windows deals with right now, everything from Office to Teams to 365 and even Microsoft Copilot. And you can bet your sweet bippy they're going to be implementing AI features inside of that next Xbox and even into Windows 11 as well, thereby forcing people to interact with their AI and make it move forward in that space. The funny thing about that, though, is it looks like people are in fact calling Microsoft micro slop, and things are not going well at all for them. Here's a tweet from Ice Solst saying this: new, Microsoft is renaming all their products: GitHub, Copilot Hub, LinkedIn, Copilot Unemployed, Xbox, X Copilot, Teams, Copilot Skype, Azure, Copilot Cloud, OneDrive, Copilot Delete Your Files, and over and over and over. You can clearly see that the list here, though, continues, though, and they keep making fun of Microsoft adding AI into basically everything, turning it into, in fact, slop, the one thing Nadella wants you not to call it. But it turns out Microsoft were not happy with this, and neither was their Twitter account. You see, because as that tweet gained traction, it turns out that @Office literally went ahead and protected their tweets. If there isn't any other way to not call this slop with exactly what Microsoft is doing, I don't know what is. We're literally watching in real time CEOs trying to sweep for AI and for products that really should not exist, that have no beneficial value, and are doing nothing more than increasing the price of RAM literally over time on a consistent basis, and even all pieces of hardware over time. Your next consoles may even cost close to $1,000 because of this actual slopification of Microsoft and every other aspect in the planet. But besides all those companies there's one company in particular working directly with AI, filing patents for AI systems that, in my opinion, is far more insidious than simply doing something dumb like renaming a piece of software and adding an AI search bar function into it. We're talking about pure censorship and even lack of control. Enter PlayStation. You see, for some reason, PlayStation and Sony have been incredibly quiet on the entire AI front. In fact, just until recently. But the thing is, though, Sony and PlayStation have also done really strange things before. In fact, PlayStation themselves literally filed a patent that would go around and have the actual user or viewer stand up and shout either McDonald's or a brand name when the commercial came on, to then skip the ad and then move onward to their actual piece of content. No, I'm not kidding. That's an actual real patent that they in fact filed and hasn't been used yet. But you can absolutely guarantee things are going to get even more dystopian right now. You see, because on this channel, I've also talked about the massive amounts of censorship that have been happening with Steam specifically, and even then with credit card companies and even merchant banks. And it's been an incredibly serious series to cover. Honestly, it's been incredibly shocking to see what's happening on the back end. But I think the wild part about all of this is the actual implicit nature of what Sony is doing to actively censor their entire media library, and not just their games, but also everything else in the future as well. Because according to Vice, a new Sony Interactive Entertainment patent details AI-powered censorship that could alter video game audio and video on the fly. That's right. We're not talking about AI to do things for you. We're not talking about AI to help you get a cheat code or where to go next in a video game. But you know what? We'll get to that in just a moment. Don't you worry. DSP is going to be very excited about all of this. We are now seeing companies like Sony and PlayStation literally file patents for AI to go around and alter audio and video while you are playing a video game in actual real time. And the thing is, this could also be applied to many other instances of what Sony in fact owns. If you're an anime fan, Sony owns Funimation and Crunchyroll, and they could literally use that same technology to censor anime in real time live as you are watching it at that exact moment, simply because it doesn't fit their sensibilities, or they feel they should exert control over what you can and cannot watch and make sure that you stand up for that ad and yell, "McDonald's!" But there's more to this story, so let's read the article and go from there. Sony Interactive Entertainment's new patent is titled Automatic Bespoke Edits of Video Content Using AI, and the description of the filing reveals that the company is currently exploring new ways to use AI-powered tools to tailor entertainment experiences for different users. The patent specifically gives examples of customizing audio-video content for video game content. Although this type of functionality would likely be a welcome asset for parents of younger gamers, its implementation would definitely raise some serious conversations around the intersection of AI and art. Gamers have recently seen how comments around the exploration of AI at Larian Studios have caused a lot of drama for that team. It seems likely that some creators and consumers might take issue with AI altering finished products to help censor them. The biggest difference between what this patent proposes and what most current safety settings and parental controls do is that this tool would add an additional safety layer beyond whatever the developers baked into the game. The tool's suggested ability to react to what is happening on the screen and change things on the fly could drastically change the way parents think about age restrictions and which games they allow their kids to play. The patent explains that the tool could be used on most major computer ecosystems. That means that if the tool does make its way from concept to production, it could ultimately have an impact on not just PlayStation owners, but on Nintendo, Xbox, or even PC gamers as well. I don't know about you, but to me, that is incredibly horrifying. Like we've talked about before, I've been covering the censorship happening with Steam simply by the use of merchant banks going around and stopping actual transactions inside of a storefront simply because those merchant banks don't want you to play those specific games, or they feel that they're entitled to dictate what you can and cannot play. Now we have PlayStation themselves literally going around and filing patents on AI that could actually go through and censor in real time video games, content, and movies at any particular point based on either their sensibilities or what they choose to show you in the first place. You can clearly see this could go down an incredibly dark path, seeing as how I'm a guy who grew up with things like watching RoboCop when they were just a few years old, or even Terminator 1 and 2 and even Aliens. Okay, and yeah, maybe that does explain a lot of things about why I am the way I am and why I act the way I act, and pretty much that explains everything all at once, and why when I was like really young I watched Tremors for the first time, and that's really one of my favorite. Okay, look, that does explain a lot of things. All right, look, that's not the point. The fact that I've talked about so much censorship happening on Steam specifically due to merchant banks like Visa and MasterCard going around and stopping payment transactions from happening on a storefront because they don't like the naughty games that are on Steam. The same thing could be happening to, in fact, consoles and every other platform as well if Sony and PlayStation, in fact, get this AI up and running and this patent does, in fact, stick and go through. We are now watching in real time as companies and corporations not only dictate what you can and cannot purchase, but also after you purchase it, can control the actual media once you are watching it and or playing it. And that is even more horrifying than anything ever before. Seeing as how this is happening incredibly quickly, and we're watching AI just completely take over the entire planet, this could in fact be placed into effect, creating a wave of content and media that PlayStation and other companies can sell to any age across any aspect, and then go around and dictate what can and cannot be shown by using that AI and learning about who you are as a person, gathering all your data, creating database files about you, and then giving you specific access to the content that AI feels that you should be able to watch or that you're able to watch in the first place. That's even scarier when you really think about it, because how is the AI going to know what to censor if it doesn't know anything about you at all? It's going to need a lot of information, and they're more than willing to collect it. But the problem is, it's not just about censorship happening with PlayStation. It also turns out there's going to be a brand new game mode for all their games coming out in the future, and DSP and game journos seem to be incredibly excited about it too. According to VGC, Sony has patented a new technology that would see PlayStation games play themselves with the help of AI. Okay, all right, look. The jokes write themselves. They literally write themselves. PlayStation will never beat the allegations that they only put out third-person cover-based action-adventure movie games after this actual patent. There's no way around it, my boys. You're done. You're cooked. It's over. You might as well take your controller and set that sumbitch down and press X just to keep the thing alive and not turn off with the battery saver mode. That is absolutely wild behavior. The fact that not only PlayStation developers were going around and using DSP as an actual barometer of how to design their games. No, I'm not kidding. You should look up the GDC talk about God of War 2018, where they literally used DSP's footage to go through and determine how to actually create gameplay mechanics, so that way they can guide non-gamers throughout the entire game. If you've ever felt like, gee, why does every PlayStation game feel the same? Why does every PlayStation game always have that same swoop-in animation from a cutscene? Why do they all kind of look like a movie? Well, that's exactly why now. They're literally catering to the non-gamer in the most highfalutin possible way. And the funniest thing about all of that is they're doing it right in front of you and using AI to go ahead and beat the game for you. This is going to be an entirely new situation, and I can't wait to see what unfolds. But let's see what VGC had to say and the patent itself. According to the article, as described in patent documents, quote, Ghost Player would see players call down an AI-generated ghost version of the player character, which could either play out the solution to a particular part of the level or complete it entirely. The patent was originally filed in September of 2024, but the World Intellectual Property Organization published an international status report of the patent this week. For example, if a player were stuck on a puzzle in an Uncharted game, the guide mode would seemingly present an AI-controlled Nathan Drake demonstrating the solution before the player did it themselves. The quote, complete mode would simply complete the section for the player. Do you want to know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of how every single streamer, when playing God of War Ragnarok, was honestly complaining about how Atreus was sitting there and yapping at you with how to solve the puzzles, rather than just letting you have time to, in fact, solve the puzzle. I think there was like a really great compilation clip that had Maximilian Dood in it as well, and he was just like, shut up already, let me solve it, I've been here for 5 seconds. And this is literally the exact next logical step for PlayStation. It looks like game developers no longer want to make video games. What they want to do are make interactive films and movies to then have the player simply be guided by yellow paint throughout the entire process, as if yellow paint wasn't an issue enough already in video games. And the fact is, this kind of thing is going to get bigger simply because there are far more casual players of video games than there are actual people who like to play the fucking video game in the first place. And they'll keep using these kinds of mechanics and guides and even this kind of AI to then add it to every other game as well. This isn't simply about PlayStation games being movie games. This is going to be widespread and impacting the entire video game industry. You always see it happen all the time. Monkey see, monkey do. First it was the white paint splashed everywhere where you can climb. Then it became the yellow paint phenomenon. Then the highlighting phenomenon. Then the entire like walking, tracking, and trying to figure out with like a sensor mode thing. Everything to actually guide the player to the actual completing objective, rather than just letting them solve the puzzles on their own or providing proper hints and information to the player in other ways possible. The thing is though, game developers are going to be incredibly lazy, and what they also want to do is have publishers sell as many copies as possible. If there are roadblocks in a game for a casual player, people may intend to not in fact play that game. Even though games like Elden Ring actually exist, and there are a ton of casual players who got into Elden Ring simply because they were able to solve those problems by just playing the game. In fact, here is a picture of the patent itself, simply providing information about ghost assistance for the game logic, an action card, mode settings, switching the mode, AI assistance engines, and the gameplay with guide modes, complete modes, story, combat, explore, full game, and ghost character sections as well. The article also states that it's claimed that the AI model would be trained on existing footage of the game instead of being a pre-recorded series of inputs set by a developer. And that's also incredibly important as well, because that little last bit could basically mean the entire thing could come crumbling down and make things even worse for the actual player. If what the game is doing is learning by what you're doing and how you're playing and what's actually been designed previously and not by what the developer intends to happen, that means they can take that information or provide bad info, or it can pull from places that really don't have the right information at all and then provide you the actual solution, but yet also break the game entirely. I could easily see this being abused in any sense of the word, especially if it does something as stupid like, I don't know, pulling up from a YouTube video that everybody tries to link to about how to solve the actual solution, which in reality, that's all this actually is. When you get stuck on something, the first thing you do is Google how to beat this section, and you got somebody doing a no commentary playthrough, and it's exactly where you got to go. We already have this right now. What is the need of the AI doing this at all? But again, it's not about providing a better solution for you as a player or consumer. No, this is about data collection and collecting all that data through those AI models. How old you are, what you can watch, what you can't watch, what they censor, what they won't censor, how you play, what you play, and using that information to bring back to these actual main companies to determine how they can sell you more product and then maximize those products to you so that way you feel compelled to buy that product, seeing as how, hey, you can beat this game, you beat other games like this, we have our AI models designing it specifically for you, so you don't ever have to worry. And all those icky censorship parts, we took care of that too. So no issues at all. Give us your money. That's exactly how they're doing it. And honestly, it's far more insidious, in my opinion, than anything we're seeing right now with AI usage just being a slap on the bar as a search engine, or like a modified Clippy from what I've seen, honestly. And if you don't believe me about actual information collection, take a look at this. According to PC Gamer, Project Ava is a desktop AI assistant that promises to watch your every move to offer both gaming advice and wardrobe tips. That's right, boys. Are you worried about going on that date with that cute goth GameStop girl? Well, number one, she's not real. Your brain made her up. Number two, use the Razer AI desk thing to tell you how to dress. Watching your every move. Boys, listen, and the 5 women that watch this content. It turns out that these companies are going to be using AI to not make things easier for you, to not make them better for you, but to spy on you and collect all the data and information they possibly can. Gain all that info and then sell it off to everybody else so that way they can go ahead and sell you products to spend more money, even though AI is going to take your job and you won't have any money at all to pay for those things in the first place, but then they'll just call you broke while eating Pokemon's cookies in front of your face. So I guess that's how things are going to work now too. But you know, things are in a bad situation when even Microsoft's own CEO of AI says there needs to be regulations about this too. Because according to WebPro News, Microsoft's AI CEO warns of existential risks and urges global regulations. Mustafa Suleyman, Microsoft's AI CEO and DeepMind co-founder, warns of existential risks of unchecked AI advancement, urging righteous controls to prevent systems from becoming uncontrollable. He advocates for ethical boundaries, humanist superintelligence, and global regulations, emphasizing Microsoft's readiness to abandon risky pursuits. His cautions highlight the need for balanced innovation. That's right. The company who is pushing their Copilot AI has an AI CEO that's telling everybody, yo, wake up. This is not good. We got to do something. Hey, get your shit together because this is not going to be happening in a good way at all. And that's an even more terrifying thing about all of this. Watching companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, AMD invest all this money into AI. Watching Boston Dynamics literally go ahead and make robots that are going to replace every human being in the first place. And the only thing missing is that really weird latexy skin fetish thing that we've seen all the time. Watching companies go around working with Nvidia to create literally Minority Report to predict crime times before they happen, creating massive information data banks about who you are as a person simply by seeing the bumper stickers you have on your car, creating an entire profile about you. No, I'm not kidding. That's actually real. It's fucking insane. And then turning around and using that exact same AI technology to censor the kind of content you watch, beat the games for you, collect your information, tell you how to dress, what to say, what to wear, help you out with your gaming, and make things better for you at all under the guise of trying to be more helpful for you, provide things better for you, and give yourself an entire reason to give these companies more of your actual money. In my opinion, this entire idea of AI censorship and also AI control of the kind of content that we enjoy on this channel is even more insidious than what we've seen happening with AI overall. And it's going to honestly get even worse. As these small little levels are accepted by people, it's going to get exponentially bigger, because the only way to boil a frog is in fact to do it slowly. But I think the funnier part about all of this is the fact that Sony and PlayStation not only are willing to censor every single piece of media and provide that information to every other gaming publication, but also at the same time basically just prove to everyone their games are basically just movies. Good job, guys. Way to go. But you know what? I want to hear what you guys have to say about this in the comments section down below. Do you think this is actually going to happen at some point? Do you think AI and this kind of infrastructure is going to collapse upon itself? Or do you think we're standing at the precipice and looking into the abyss? I want to hear what you guys have to say. If you want to see more of this kind of content, though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, my hot takes in the gaming industry, and everything else, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 104K. And I just got to say thank you guys so very much. If you want Discord access or most during live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. If you don't want to spend the buck, don't sweat it. Just come on down Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on the channel, as I wear a banana suit and get insulted by 800 people with TTS. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!